Everyone, this is Chelsea, last name soon to be Douglas, which is why our channel is called Douglas Dishes. So if you are in your late to mid 30s and you're in that point where you're definitely an adult, like you got your career, your finances are starting to come into full swing. I'm actually engaged, getting married soon, and thinking about starting a family, and we just laugh all the time, my fiance and we're like, oh man, we have to adult so much and we might bring in a third human. So we're just trying to get better in the mindset of like cooking regularly. I don't mind cooking. I just really hate cleaning up. So it kind of holds me back a little bit. But something fun I thought would be to push myself, because I'm kind of in the rut of, I have some dishes that I keep making over and over again that I really enjoy, but I haven't really tried some new things. And so I thought starting a channel would be helpful for my personal growth and help you guys out along the way. We do like to make some more like healthy options, but we do keep cost in mind. Like, we don't buy all organic, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, you know, some people don't have the budget for that, and this is kind of helpful. I plan to give you guys like calorie counts and cost with each meal that we make. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to chit chat while we make some dishes in the future, stay tuned and we'll get started on the first one. Okay, so these have already been washed. We're just gonna go ahead and get cutting. So I usually just quarter these. These are mini red potatoes. They always say the more colors your food has, the healthier it is. So we have a little bit of every color in this recipe. I'm also more on the cheaper side of eating healthy. So you can get fresh carrots and fresh broccoli and cut that how you want. I actually buy like frozen. You can get the steamable packets or just regular frozen. And I just have those two, a bag of carrots and a bag of broccoli, sitting in the sink here, just so they defrost a little bit. It is possible to roast frozen vegetables. You just have to come in at a high enough temperature, which we will be doing on this recipe, so that's not an issue either. And I'm just gonna finish quartering these. The potatoes are quartered. I can kind of show you that. You want them to be about this size. If you cut them much bigger than that, then they're not going to roast, and they'll be really hard, and that is not good. So first thing we can do is put the potatoes in our baking pan. So all I'm going to do with this is just spray it with some cooking spray. I really hate cleanup. I don't actually mind cooking so much, but I hate dishes, so I don't even actually love dishes though, so I mean, I don't feel alone in that. Okay, so got the potatoes in there. I'm just gonna set this to the side again, and we're gonna move on to peppers. So because I'm using carrots and broccoli, I grabbed gold bell peppers, just for color reasons. Let's see here, we're gonna go ahead and take our stickers off, rinse these off as well. So this is apparently not the correct way to cut a bell pepper, and I don't care because I like cutting it the way that I do it. You don't want any seeds in this, so I usually take my bell pepper, sit it on the ground like this, and I just cut from the sides, kind of around the middle. This is a good one. So then I'm left with something like this, and I will just go in and keep cutting around the core of the bell pepper, because we're not going to use that at all. So we're going to use 2 bell peppers, and we used about 1.5 of the mini red potatoes, 1.5 pounds. I use 1.5 pounds of potato because I do not add rice for this meal. I just let the potatoes stand as my starch, and it works out really well. Once you get your bell peppers cut, you can leave these in slices if you want, but I am going to go ahead and chop them into smaller pieces. Man, this knife is really struggling today. And you can just throw them in as you go, leave them on the board, and then toss them at the end. But you're looking for something kind of like this in size and thickness. If you cut them too small, again, they'll overcook, and then they're really mushy. If you want to, you could totally leave them in strips like this. It's just that when I go to heat this up for lunch the next day, then I feel like I have to cut it. So that's why I don't leave them in strips specifically, but go ahead and get these done. We'll move on to the next part. Does anyone else eat as they cook? I just feel like bell peppers are the thing that I almost always buy extra because they're like the #1 food I'll snack on if I'm actually meal prepping with them. And Claire will as well. Come on, Claire. You want this video? Can you sit right here? Claire, sit. One paw. Good girl. Yeah. Claire is my little kitchen helper. Cleans everything that spills on the floor, and if it tastes bad, I will know, because she's not a particular eater. So, bell peppers are done. We're going to go ahead and put this in the baking sheet as well now. All right. On for carrots and broccoli. So again, like I said, these have just been sitting in the sink kind of defrosting. So we're going to open them up. Same thing with the carrots. If you have somebody who does not like cooked carrots, put them in anyway. So my fiance is not a fan of carrots in general, especially like cooked. So he never complains. They always come out super good in this recipe, especially because they're gonna get flavored by the meat as well. And they're gonna be roasted, not steamed. This is what it's looking like. We have potatoes, carrots, broccoli, and gold bell pepper. So the next thing we're gonna do is add the meat. You can do whatever meat you would like. You could honestly do like chicken breast, chicken thigh, if that's what you have. This is Italian sausage here. I always get mild. I tried the hot and it was good, but it was definitely hotter than I thought it was gonna be for like a Johnsonville sausage there. So we're gonna open this up. I will sometimes just use 3 if I'm gonna be the only one eating it, because I'm not a super big meat eater, but Brad does like this and I'm making a lot of it. So we're gonna go ahead and use all 5 of the links. I would not recommend like a ground meat, like ground beef or ground chicken, because it does, the way with everything else being chopped, it's kind of nice if your meat is chopped into bites as well. So the first thing we're gonna do is just take off the casing. So I'm just gonna take this knife and kind of slice like this so I can begin to pull the casing off. You want it, again, kind of aim for the same size that you did with the potato, because this is something that's a little bit more dense than a bell pepper, but something like this. Just like a little round piece, and we're gonna throw that in as well. So again, throw it in as you go, put off the side on cutting board, whatever works for you. But we're gonna go ahead, get the rest of these uncased, thrown in. So here's with all of the meat and veggies added in. Now we have to put our herbs and spices on there. So first thing you're gonna need is some olive oil. With salt and pepper. You can do extra virgin olive oil. You can do just regular olive oil, whatever you would like. The extra virgin olive oil will give you a little bit less of a taste, but I don't feel like olive oil in general is too overpowering, so I'm not too particular. And then ideally you would use like half of a teaspoon of salt and pepper. For herbs and spices, I say if you know what you like, then add more in if you feel like it's gonna need more flavor. So for me, I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle this whole thing with some pepper. I'm gonna sprinkle with salt. And I'll let you guys know, I'll put the post in the description box, like the link for the original recipe. This is my version of it. I think everybody kind of takes recipes and puts their own spin on it, but just to give you an idea. So we love garlic in this house. It calls for like 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, but that just won't do. We need garlic. So I like to take a good heaping handful, and I will usually put at least 2 of these in here. Maybe 3. Depends on how full your pan is. That's another reason why I like this baking sheet. I feel like some baking sheets are just so, not narrow. Some baking sheets are just so short that I feel like I can't get enough in the baking pan. And you can do 2 separate ones, but my oven is not super wide, so that doesn't work out the best for me all the time. So we did garlic. So we have minced garlic, salt, pepper. You're going to do some crushed red pepper flakes if you don't mind a little bit of heat. If you do, leave them out. And then we're also going to do some oregano and some parsley. Okay, so I have some paprika here. I'm not a super fan of paprika in general, so sorry, this is freshly new and I can't get the sprinkle capacity to work, so we're gonna go like this. I'm just gonna put a little bit of in here, just because, like I said, it's not my favorite seasoning, but it does add like a little bit of depth to the dish, I feel. Normally a recipe would call for about a tablespoon of oregano and parsley. I actually need some more oregano, so I'm just gonna use this up. It's probably just a little bit less than a tablespoon. And then parsley. I personally think the oregano and the parsley are the 2 seasonings that really pull this together with the garlic. And while we're doing all this, the oven is preheating to 400 degrees. Okay, crushed red pepper flakes. Like I said, if you don't like spice or like heat, don't put these in. We do like a little bit of spice and a little bit of heat in this house, so we're gonna go ahead and put some of them in. But even for us, I've made the mistake of putting too many. Don't do it. Just, it ruins the dish, let me tell you. Alrighty, so everything is in here. We're gonna grab a spoon real quick just to kind of stir it up. Once you're done stirring it up, it looks like a little bland, like the seasoning isn't everywhere you wanted it to be. You can add some more in. That's usually what I'll end up doing. Right. So when you're spreading this out, you do want to make sure you have like the thinnest layer possible. So I said some people might need to use 2 baking sheets. I find this one works really well because it's just large in general. I am going to put a little bit more salt just to kind of bring out some of those flavors. And then I think I'm going to put some more parsley in there as well. I would do more oregano, but like I said, I just used all of it. But that looks pretty good. Goes in the oven for 15 minutes. You take it out, stir it up real quick, put it back in for another 15 minutes, and then we'll see the finished product. So it's been 15 minutes. We're going to take this out. Put this out here for a second. Okay. We're going to kind of just stir this around. This is to make sure everything gets evenly coated. I feel like everything is roasting pretty well, but I'm going to turn up the temperature just a little bit because the potatoes aren't exactly how I want them to be by the time they're done. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to turn that to 425, and I'm going to stick this back in. And instead of cooking for only 15 more minutes, we'll put it in for 20 more minutes. Okay, timer just went off. Oops, sorry about that. Put this up here. See how it looks? Oh, it looks good, but I swear it smells even better. Let me bring you guys in so you can get a better look. Oh, so good. Okay. So I do want to give you guys like a cost breakdown and kind of a calorie nutritional breakdown too. So let's go ahead and make like what I would consider 1 serving. So this is what I would consider about 1 serving for this recipe. So it's about 3 cups. Let's see exactly how many cups this makes, and then we'll go over calories and cost. Okay, everybody, this is the end result for this like sausage and veggie lunch meal prep. We do have about 9 or 10 of these glass containers with the snap-on lids, which work really great for us. The only thing we really meal prep like in containers like this is lunch, so it doesn't bother us to have some stacked in the fridge. We have enough room, which is the 2 of us. So before I let you guys go, I did want to give you guys some data for like the cost and the nutrition. We are trying to be healthy in this house, but we're also not trying to spend a fortune doing it. So if you have any diet restrictions, again, this is dairy-free, gluten-free. It does meet Paleo and Whole30. It might meet other things. I'm just not as familiar with the other lifestyle diets, I would call them. So overall, to make this whole tray of food was $16. This ended up making 9 containers, which are each 3 cups of food in each container. So it made 9 servings. That makes it about $1.78 per lunch. That's awesome. $1.78 for good, hearty, wholesome food. Nutritionally, like that whole sheet pan was about, let me see, I wrote down 2,095 calories. If you want to know the serving in each individual like lunch tray for like protein, calories, and things like that, one of these is 232 calories. The protein in it is 10 grams. The carbs come down to 22 grams. The fat is about 12 grams. And then I'm trying to be more mindful for sugar. It's 3 grams of sugar per serving in this. So like I said, we've tried Whole30, we've tried Paleo, and Whole30 is really hard to like, they tell you you're supposed to be 30 days and that's supposed to be a whole thing for life, but it's just hard to commit to in general. And Paleo is really good, except I just feel like I wasn't getting enough carbs on Paleo. I started working out. So like I said, we're just kind of monitoring sugar, like no added sugar if we can avoid it, and just making sure we stay within the daily recommended amount of sugar and that we're not going over. But yeah, this is it. Like I said, easy lunch meal prep, healthy. I know 232 calories doesn't seem like a lot, but you can add some rice in there if you want to. If you're somebody who has a big breakfast and a big dinner, something like this is probably perfect for you. Or if you're somebody who also does like a mid to late morning snack and then a mid to late afternoon snack, this is ideal as well, just to help control calorie count and such. But like I said, good, wholesome food. Overall, pretty cheap if you ask me. If you want to see more recipes like this, feel free to tune in to Douglas Dishes. We're going to post every 2 weeks for the first couple months. And then once we get the hang of editing, we'll do weekly videos. So I hope to see you guys back, and stay safe, everybody. Bye.